What's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy Mike the Businessman. And guys, listen, man, I got a good one for you guys today. Let's talk about Lula. What's going on, guys? All right, but before I jump right into it, I kind of want to give you guys some background story, all right? Many years ago, lifetime ago, I used to be in the auto insurance industry, all right? So I used to work for an auto insurance company called Eastwood Insurance. And then later on, after a few years, I went out and I opened up my own auto insurance agencies. I had 3 in the DFW Metroplex area. And guys, what would happen is typically the way this works is, right? So a new insurance company comes into town, just like any regular salesperson, right? They go hit up all the local insurance agencies in the area so we can sell their product, right? They'll come meet us, shake hands, bring us gifts, introduce us to their new product, all right? And pretty much what we would see is they would come in first. Typically they'll come in ahead of time to befriend us, right? And then they want to scope out the competition. They want to see for any product, say it's a liability insurance product or a full coverage insurance product, they want to see the competitor's pricing, right? So that way they can go tweak their pricing, right? They want to know what they can do to help move the needle, give them a competitive advantage, right? So they kind of pick our brains and get sauce from us so that way they can go back to the table and better their product, all right? And then when they finally have their product done, they bring it to us and then we help them push it, right? Maybe they might give us higher commissions for pushing their products and all of that. And so a lot of them do this. This was regular practice, okay? And then what we'd always see is they would come out and maybe for the first year, these guys are the new kids on the block, they got the best pricing. They're undercutting everybody else, so we're sending all our business to them. We're getting nice commission checks, they're giving us paid in full checks, PIFs, we're happy, right? They're just throwing us basketball ticket games or whatever it is. That's typically the way the insurance industry works, right? And so that's how they get their foot in the door easily. But now what ends up happening is after maybe several months or a year or maybe even 2 years, all of a sudden, that new kid on the block just either they just all of a sudden just stop taking new applications or they hike their prices so high that they just fall off the map. You can't even quote them anymore. Their price quote is nowhere on your radar, right? So that typically happens. And we used to call it like a pump and dump, right? They would just come in and they got the perfect price and then they pump up their book of business, right? And then they get to a certain point where, okay, we've made enough money. Now let's manage the risk. Let's just keep it up here. We have enough monthly recurring revenue. Let's close the doors now and try to now start working on our risk management and making sure that our loss ratios are good. And by loss ratios, that's pretty much how much income is coming in versus how much is going out, right? The ratio of how much income is going in versus how much is being paid out in losses. So that you kind of want to have a positive loss ratio to where you're making more money than you're paying out in claims. All right, and that's why a lot of people get dropped. When you keep filing claims, guys, your loss ratio gets too high, they will drop you because you're not profitable to them. All right, at the end of the day, insurance is not a non-profit business. They are here to make money. If you're not making the money, they will cut you off. And so once they perform this audit and they see that, okay, their monthly recurring revenue is where they need it to be, and maybe if their loss ratio is not looking too good, is not the best, they will shut down the books, all right? They'll stop taking on new business or they'll increase their price, make their prices so high to where you don't even want to place business there. Or if you do take them up on their new prices, then hey, that way they're still able to be profitable. So we see this all the time, guys. All right, we see this all the time. And so that's why when I got this letter from Lula, I just started laughing. I just broke down and laughed because classic pump and dump. All right, I'll read this letter I got. It says, "To whom it may concern, we are reaching out to inform you of some changes to our platform that affect your subscription. Over the past months, we've been diligently reviewing our platform's offerings and customer base to ensure that we continue to provide the best value and experience for our users. As part of this review, we are realigning our customer base to more closely reflect our long-term vision and sustainability goals. Regrettably, this means that we will not be continuing your subscription and your vehicles will be removed from Lula's insurance policy as of 12:01 a.m. on 11/10/2023. So that's a letter I got from Lula. And immediately I go on Google to go do some quick research, and I found out that yes, Lula did go for a series round of funding not too long ago. So this is my hypothesis, guys. I'm no expert. I don't work at Lula. I don't know anybody at Lula. Lula's never reached out to me. I don't even know if they've even paid me a commission check, an affiliate check ever before. And I've sent them a buttload of business. And in full transparency, I've had my policy with Lula over a year, almost a year and a half, and I've only filed one claim. I had one claim I had to file in January. They paid out about $6,000, and that was about it. But I single-handedly have probably sent Lula at least 200 people, minimum. All right, and I don't think I've gotten anything. I don't think I've gotten up to $200 from Lula in affiliate commissions. Full transparency. All right. So I have no skin in the game here, or I have no interest in this company. So and take everything I am saying here for entertainment and face value, because I don't want to get no lawsuits from anybody. But all I'm saying is, it does kind of look how fishy how Lula came on the scene just a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, accepted everybody. They made other commercial insurance policies. You have to have a certain number of cars. You have to submit loss history reports. It was so much underwriting on the back end and criteria that you needed to qualify. Lula kind of broke down those barriers. We were thinking, okay, this is a progressive, forward-facing company, like a progressive company that's looking to change the game. Now they're trying to open up the commercial insurance business to everybody so people can get in. But I guess we were all fooled. I mean, I'm sure their monthly recurring revenues are looking amazing right now. Because a lot of us influencers have sent them a lot of business, and now they've had enough. Their books are full. Their books look really good to go get series funding now. They've raised millions of dollars now, and so they don't need us anymore. So now they close the door, and now they got more stringent requirements and all of that. And to make matters even worse, I get another letter from Lula. All right, I got this letter barely 2-3 weeks ago. And now they're completely changing their coverage. To be honest, at this point, after reading this letter, I personally can no longer recommend Lula to anybody. I don't think it's worth still paying for with the kind of coverage that they now want to offer, because they're not covering anything. They want to be, so to speak, like a period X type policy where they're not even covering the rental period. They're covering that period of time when the cars maybe you're driving the car to deliver it to the customer, or you're taking the car to a car wash or a maintenance trip. That's what they want to cover. They don't want to cover when the renter actually rents your car and damages it. They don't. Now they're insisting that your renter has their own primary insurance coverage, which kind of is what I've always preached from day one. But a lot of people are lazy. A lot of people are spoiled. They don't want to do that work. And so a lot of people just would rather get commercial insurance. And I'm 100% honest with you guys. I've always cringed at the thought of just commercial insurance where the renter has no skin in the game. Because what happens is these renters would rent your vehicle and nothing stops them from totaling your car and then just walking away. Like, they have no skin in the game, right? Nothing can happen to them. That's why I've never really liked it. Like, for me, commercial insurance is just something you have as a safety blanket, right? It's that ace in your pocket, God forbid your plan A doesn't work. But unfortunately, a lot of you guys, I see you guys out there, commercial insurance is your primary thing. And if without that, you guys don't even know how to operate your insurance, your rental companies anymore. And sadly, people that do that, unfortunately, won't be in the game much longer, because when news like this happens, you have no idea what to do. You guys have no clue what to do. And so this, in a way, is so to speak, a wake-up call for a lot of those people that don't want to go learn the fundamentals, what I preached from day one, how we do it in the academy. So when things like this happen, we're not worried about this. Matter of fact, I never used my Lula. The one time I used my Lula, we got into an accident, and I didn't like that. It messed up my loss ratio history, all right? And so I don't like that. So that's why I never even use my commercial insurance policies. I don't want to file on mine. And so this other letter I got from Lula, what really had me worried is now the changes to the coverage that they're actually giving people now. So no longer is Lula going to be considered your primary coverage, meaning if the renter was to take your car and get into a wreck, Lula kicks in and pays for the damage. No, Lula wants to hide behind the renter's insurance now. So they are now considered secondary coverage. And they have countless number of exclusions in here, which you guys need to be careful of. All right, so I quote, it says, to be valid, rental agreements must include the following for any primary and secondary renter. All right, so your rental agreement needs to have the full name, address, date of birth, driver's license number. But what really worried me is they also wanted to have the primary personal insurance information. All right, meaning Lula does want to become secondary now, no longer primary. That's number one thing that worried me with Lula. The second thing that worried me a lot too is what they've added to in a clause called the exclusion clause now. Now they have too many exclusions in here that really had me worried, like, okay, these guys aren't covering anything anymore. So as you guys can see here on the screen, the first section talks about the different vehicles that are excluded, which is normal. We knew about a lot of these. However, on the bottom there where it says vehicle usage, now we see where the language starts to change. It says vehicles rented or leased on a car sharing platform. That's fine. So if your car is on Turo, Get Around, Hire Car, they're not going to cover that. We understand. No worries. Now, where I got worried is food delivery, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, etc. Majority of the people on the Lula platform rent their cars out to people that do just that. All right, they're renting out their cars to gig economy workers. And for Lula to say now that they do not want to cover any of that risk, they don't want that risk, that pretty much essentially nullifies almost 90% of the people out there renting economy car vehicles to gig economy workers. All right, or all of them. So that to me worried me. Then specifically in this clause, it says insurance coverages and limits. So this is where they're getting into the nitty gritty. Now let's see what they really cover. So it says coverage, auto liability and physical damage is secondary to any renter's other applicable insurance, including primary personal automobile or other available insurance when under a valid rental agreement. All right. However, coverage is considered primary when the vehicle is being driven by an employee for a business-related activity, just like I mentioned earlier. Example, trips for maintenance, repairs, car wash, or filling with gas, or on lot, not under a rental reservation agreement. So pretty much, guys, that final statement right there sums it up. They will only cover when this car is not under a rental reservation agreement. So I am sorry, guys, unless you guys just want to be throwing money in the trash, they're not covering anything. All right, pretty much. They're not covering anything.
Has the thought of starting a business been daunting to you? Does it scare you? Does it make you want to give up the second the thought comes into your head? What if I told you that that was just a limiting belief? What if I told you that there was a community out there with like-minded people, people that are just as scared as you, but instead they come together and they understand that in unity there is power, there is strength, and they come together and they're all pursuing the same common goal. They're able to lift each other up, give each other game, exchange ideas, joint venture with each other. Allow me to introduce you to MTB Car Rental Academy, where there's people all over the country, people all over the world that are executing, running their car rental businesses, sharing their wins, sharing their tribulations, sharing their finds, no gatekeeping, and I'm also in there constantly contributing. You have all the resources at your disposal, expert group coaching and one-on-one calls with me, group coaching calls from business credit coach, so you guys can learn how to set up your LLCs the right way and go out there to go get funding. You have advertising and marketing coaches in there teaching you guys how to run profitable ads, so that way you guys get good return on ad spend. You're able to attract the right customers that'll pay you the money you deserve for your cars. In my academy, we have a proven roadmap that'll take you guys from point A all the way to point Z. That way no stone is left unturned. You guys have all the resources at your disposal so that you guys are successful in your car rental journey. If you have a 680 plus credit score, or you have a liquidity, because this is a 4-figure investment, you need to have some liquidity to get in. If you have either one of those criteria, click the link below to speak to a member of our team so we can see if you're a good fit to join the academy, and I'll see you guys there.
And then to make matters worse, I got another letter. It's a third letter this time from Lula now. And now they are saying, we are writing to inform you of a slight change in wording you may notice on your next invoice. The invoice line item description is changing from vehicle subscription to off-rent subscription with AL, MFR, and physical damage, whatever all that means. So pretty much, even in your invoice now, so when you're paying, they want to make sure that you see that you are not paying for primary insurance coverage on your rentals. All right, so guys, that leads me to say this. If you are using Lula anymore, you're throwing your money down the drain. They're not going to cover you as you think they are, all right? Unless maybe you guys strictly, you only deal with Turo or Hire Car, Get Around. If you're only on one of these platforms, and you truly do want coverage for when your staff has to drive your car around, or you have to personally drive the car to go get maintenance, gas, or any of those things, then that's fine. Then this can definitely serve that situation, all right? I just don't know if it's worth the price that you're having to pay for it. However, if you guys want this to be able to transfer over to a renter whenever you rent your vehicles out, then clearly Lula's not going to do that for you, all right? That coverage is completely gone. So I would need you guys to instead consider all the alternatives in the academy. We show you guys several that you guys could use. Another popular one out there you guys could definitely use is GMI. However, guys, you need to have a fleet of vehicles. That's why it's called commercial insurance, right? Now you guys, I get a lot of emails and text messages from people saying, oh, I just have one car. Where do I get commercial insurance policy from? You can't. Why would anybody give you a commercial insurance policy on one car? You've got to have a fleet of cars. That's why it's commercial. It's called fleet insurance, right? Most of these commercial insurance policies, you need to have at least 5 cars or more to even qualify. So guys, we can't be saying we're rental car companies with just one vehicle. So we need to kind of get get our fleet up, and then you can try to apply for a company like GMI. So guys, with that being said, I hope this video was explanatory. I just wanted to make sense of this madness, but hey guys, I can no longer recommend Lula anymore. I will be taking it away from my program where I have a video specifically even recommending their product. I won't be doing that anymore. But instead, people could rely on the alternatives that I also provide in the academy. But hey guys, thank you guys very much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.